My name is Alexis. I moved to Narm, aka Melbourne, about 6.5 years ago now. And I think I officially go by Lex now since the move, because everything is somewhat shortened over here. I'm originally from Canada. I'm obsessed with cats, and I love like adventurous backpack travels, and I'm a huge music nerd. I am based in Brunswick West, and I've pretty much been living within my place and these four walls since about March. I think it was a huge sort of like shock to the system the first month of isolation. I lost about 5 months of work in 48 hours, and I'm a solo trader small business owner who also works in the arts, so that's a whole other layer, which I think a lot of people can relate to right now. So it took me a little while to sort of slow down and really process what was happening. It definitely hit me how much my identity was attached, and still is in a sense, to my business, to taking pictures of others, to tuning into others' stories and trying to help their dreams and fantasy come to life. I've really realized in isolation, it's less about like the physical action of picking up my camera that I miss. I feel like it's never been about that. It's been about telling stories and collaborating with people and getting to learn from other people, to feel like I'm constantly growing and listening and readjusting and evolving. And that got taken away, I felt like, very quickly, where I was just kind of left with me again. When I got there, I started kind of having a really hard think about the things that I missed, the hobbies that I stopped doing because I was really working 6 or 7 days a week most of the time just to build my business. And one of those things was dance and movement. Being out of touch with my body in particularly started to reflect in my photographic work. Like when I'm not breathing and I'm taking photos at a live performance, I can tell in my images when my head's not there or when I'm not really present. And that was starting to really get to me. So yeah, I've really just been exploring getting back in touch with my own sensuality, movement, and the way that my body moves, which feels really strange right now, but I'm excited for when it feels comfortable again. I'm taking dance classes and movement classes with certain folks. They know who they are, and they're doing more for my journey that I could probably put into words. I think what I've struggled with the most, that I found really confronting, is connecting again with small pleasures, and definitely being okay with slowing down and getting rid of those voices in my head that say you're not keeping up, or you're not doing enough. It's all those like shoulds, that list of shoulds that I think we all have. But I knew that I needed to kind of start revisiting pleasure in my own life, because so much of my work had to do with pleasure, especially working within the queer community where there's such a joy and pleasure and performance, folks in the sex worker community. And I was just noticing again that my disconnect was affecting my interactions with other people. When folks are really vulnerable with me, whether that's been in a work setting or DNM chats with mates, which I really miss doing in person, I just see nothing but strength in people that are choosing to be vulnerable when it feels right for them and on their terms. And so I'm kind of trying to remind myself of that when I play those voices in my head, that it's okay to share that and to experience that, and to not have all the answers yet. I've grown up in all different cities my whole life, moving around a lot, and I've never experienced the quiet that's outside my door right now. There's birds in my backyard I've never seen before. I read positive stories on a daily basis about like animals that were on the brink of extinction are just thriving again. Air quality is getting better with less planes in the air, and that stuff makes me really joyous and happy, because I feel like slowing down as a global humanity is completely necessary if we're going to change anything around, and listening to each other like globally as a humanity is really important. It might sound cheesy, but like really not taking for granted the literal air we breathe, the planet we're on, who we share it with. I've just been making active big changes in my life on the down low to shift to living to an off-grid sustainable life next year, as much as I possibly can within the means that I have. And I think what I'm taking away from it is just to continue to put energy into um, knowing how I can have a more positive ripple effect, and not just within my creative communities and my friend circles, but beyond that in a bigger picture.